I'm Kanisha Grayson, founder and CEO of The Art of Applying. The Art of Applying helps people from all over the world get into the world's best grad schools and get money to pay for it. Today, we are here to tell the story of one of our high dollar scholars, Lauren. Hi, Lauren.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, as you know, we start all of our calls with celebration. And what I would like to celebrate today is the many schools that you've been admitted to, the great offers you have, and please tell us about them.
Sure. So I applied to 7 schools, got into 5 of them. So I got into Wharton. I got into Yale with a $90K Forte Fellowship. I got into NYU Stern with a full ride. I got into UCLA with a full consortium fellowship. And then I recently got into the Kellogg Triple M program as well.
Well, that's amazing. And I know, how do you feel?
I feel good, yeah. I think my results are really good. I'm really happy with them.
Yeah, wonderful, excellent. And I know the viewers want to know what schools did she not get into? So if you feel sharing those.
Sure. So I applied to Michigan Ross. They waitlisted me. I actually removed myself from the wait list. And then I got rejected from Harvard.
Okay, got it. You know what I think what happened with Ross is probably sometimes when schools see a candidate that they feel like is unlikely to go if they're admitted. I know you were excited about Ross. They don't let you in to not mess up their yield. And because you said they waitlisted you, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so they gave you an opportunity to fight your way off the waiting list, but I really think they were like, she's a rock star. She's going to get another place. She's not going to come here. Let's not mess up our yield numbers. Yeah. Well, excellent results. So one thing that the viewers and listeners always want to know is your stats. So I want you to share whatever you feel comfortable with, as specifically as you feel comfortable. The kind of things they'd want to know would be like your age, where you went to college, what you studied, your GPA, test scores, years of work experience, kind of all those things that when you're at 1 o'clock in the morning on the internet Googling things that, you're like, she did it, can I do it too? So whatever of those things you feel comfortable sharing.
Sure. So I went to the University of Texas at Austin for undergrad. I was in the business school, so I majored in supply chain, and I was also in the business honors program as well. I think it's now called the Canfield Honors Program. So my GPA when I came out of college was 3.56. And then after that, I went into oil and gas. So I've been at the same company for about 7 years, almost 8 years, in different procurement roles. So my GMAT score was 650 total. It was 42 quant and 38 verbal.
Okay, wonderful, awesome. I think maybe age, if you feel comfortable sharing your age.
Oh yeah, I'm 29 right now.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. So a little tiny bit on the older side for
right. Yeah.
Did you have any thoughts, fears, feelings about that?
Yeah, I felt like at first that I waited too late to go back to school, but it turned out well. I got into all the schools that I wanted to, so yeah.
Really well. Great. Okay, so let's talk about the waiting too long to apply or whatnot. How did you find The Art of Applying? When did you find us, and what resonated with you that made you reach out?
Yeah, so I had been seeing you guys on Facebook for a while, but I never really did further research. And then when I finally decided that I wanted to go back to school, I decided to reach out. I think it was after I bombed my first GMAT. So I was like, I need some help. I don't know what I'm doing with this application process. I feel kind of lost. So that's what prompted me to reach out to you guys.
Okay, great. I actually love that you reached out after you bombed your first GMAT, because so many people feel like they need to have the perfect or really strong GMAT score before they reach out to get help. And then they spend so much time of their application process toiling alone or with a tutor, when we could really have been working together earlier. So I would love to just hear your thoughts on what made you be like, let me reach out now versus like toiling and studying alone, and then maybe I'll get help, 3 weeks before the deadline.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it was actually my second time that I took the GMAT, and I bombed it again after bombing it the first time. So I was like, yeah, I need some help. I need somebody to guide me through this process. I don't know what I'm doing as far as studying, and then as far as the application process as well. So I felt like I needed somebody to guide me through that.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you've been seeing us on Facebook. So you remembered us, you reached out, and you had a breakthrough call. What did you expect the breakthrough call to be like? And then what was your experience of the call?
Yeah, I didn't have any expectations. I had never had another call with another consulting company, so I just went into it. But I think it was with Austin, and so he guided me through like what my goals were, why I wanted to go back and get my MBA, which was good for me because I hadn't really spoken that out loud yet. Like it was in my head, but I hadn't like spoken my motivation for getting an MBA or why I wanted to do it. So it was really good for me as far as clarity wise. And Austin was really great.
And then you didn't sign up, and I was like, wait a minute.
Yes, I was kind of deferred by the cost at first.
Okay, so you were like, not going to do it. It's too much money. You didn't sign up. And then I believe I called you out of nowhere.
You did, yeah. It was one evening, Kanisha called me and she was like, hey, this is Kanisha from The Art of Applying. And I was like, whoa, okay. And then that call was really good because you told me that like I'm the type of client that you guys are looking for, specifically women of color, minorities that don't have very high test scores and don't think they can get in. Like I'm the perfect client for you. So that really swayed me to go ahead and pay that cost.
That's right. And now I hope you see that you are totally, our ideal client.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. Wonderful. I'm so glad. So yeah, let's talk about, we now call it tuition because, as you know, basically the application accelerator is almost like a school at this point with all the offerings and everything going on.
Right.
So I know when, we don't say the amount, but it's a lot. And when Austin said it's this much, you said, no, thank you. So talk to us about how it felt to be like, wow, some person over the internet's asking me to pay this much to help them get into grad school, and then, now the founder's calling me saying I'm the ideal client and we can really do this. Talk to us about what you said to yourself, or what did you think that did make you take the leap and make that investment?
Yeah, so I think you sent me some videos of past clients. I think it was Lex, Jatim. I can't remember the other girl's name.
Probably
that went
Ashley, because she was in logistics or supply chain.
Yeah, it was her. Yeah, and she was talking about how she wanted to invest in herself to achieve her goal, and that she always believed in investing in yourself to reach the next level. So that really inspired me to go ahead and invest in myself because I know that the work will pay off in the long run. Mm-hmm. And then I also did research on other consulting companies as well. And they were around the same price, but they were only giving you a certain amount of applications, like maybe 2 or 3, whereas the Art of Applying takes in all your applications and works on you with all your applications.
That's exactly right. So yeah, I love that you pointed that out. So we asked for a lot of money, but we're all in, once you spend that, you can get all your stuff done. I don't think you purchased anything extra, right? Did you?
No.
Yeah. So you bought the package, you didn't purchase any extra words or calls or anything, and you got it all done. So awesome.
Right.
Beautiful. So now I want to walk through all the different parts of the program and just talk about what you liked about them, what you got out of them, maybe some of them you didn't use. So let's just start with your one-on-one consultant. So in the program, everybody gets a one-on-one consultant. You can ask them unlimited questions. While you're in the intensive part of the program, you're working with them on your essays. I know you had a consultant, then it wasn't going amazing, so we switched you over. Would just love to hear about the great parts of that experience, or even the experience of you being like, can I have somebody else?
Yeah, so my consultant was good at first. We were working through how to structure my essays because I was really lost on what to write about for some of my essays. So she helped me work through that and brainstorm through that. But the problem was that she wasn't giving me the turnaround time that she promised at first. And so that's why I asked for a new consultant.
Yeah, she was going through a lot of personal hardship. So for anyone watching, we take really good care of the clients and the consultant. So that consultant was going through quite a bit. We got together and she's great now, but it was a really hard time in her life.
Yeah.
But that doesn't excuse the fact that the turnaround wasn't happening. So you reached out.
Yeah, I reached out. I got a new consultant who is awesome. So she really helped me with my essay editing process. After I had drafted my essays, she was helping me a lot with restructuring them based on her feedback. And she's actually an MBA candidate right now. So she had just went through this process. So she was a really good resource to bounce ideas off of. And then she helped me like get on track with my schedule because I felt kind of behind at first. And so she gave me like deadlines to get each essay finished in time so I can apply for round 2. So
okay, excellent. And when you wanted to switch consultants, was it a hard, arduous process? Did I make you get on a call with me? Did I make you make a case and fill out a form?
No, it was super quick. You're like, if you want a new consultant, you can have one. And within like, I think it was less than a day, I had a new consultant.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad that we got to share about that. I don't think we've talked about that in any other video. Okay, yeah. Wonderful. So another part of the program is the calls that we do all week. So we've got the weekly Q&A call where clients can come and ask open questions, get stuff edited. We've got the test prep call on Saturdays where people can submit test prep questions or talk about time management, test anxiety. Then we've got the Writing Center call on Sundays where you can come and get stuff live edited, watch other people get their stuff live edited. We also have the all client Q&A call once a month where all the clients come together with me and we celebrate, answer questions, freak out, edit stuff. Then we also have the monthly mindset call once a month where all the clients come together and talk about, you know, overwhelm, tired, frustration, imposter syndrome, and get to see that other people are dealing with that too. I would love to hear kind of which of those were your favorite, what'd you get from them?
Yeah, in the beginning, I was just doing the test prep calls with Devin because I was really focusing on getting my GMAT score up. So he was awesome. He helped me through some problems I was struggling with. I was doing some programs, self-study programs for GMAT, but I still had some questions. And so he would like walk me through the questions that I had and how to solve those problems. So he was great with that. And then the Writing Center calls were really helpful when I was going through editing with my essays. She's really good at what she does. And so she's really helped me a lot in editing my essays and making them sound perfect. So those were good. And then the Q&A calls were good for me because sometimes I didn't know like what questions I was supposed to be asking. So when hearing like the other clients asking questions, I would take notes and like see like what the next steps would be for me because some of them were further along in the process than me. So those were good as well. And then just seeing like people's successes along the way, like people that applied in round 1 that had already gotten into schools, that was motivating for me applying in round 2.
Awesome. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So another thing I did mention is the one-on-one mindset calls that you get with our in-house mindset coach. Did you use yours? Were they helpful? If they were helpful, how were they helpful?
I used a couple. So I did the group coaching call once, and then I did an individual one once. Okay. And so it was helpful, yeah, because I was going through a lot of anxiety with trying to keep on schedule with my essays and taking the GMAT and all of that. And so the group coaching call was good because I saw that other clients were going through the same thing. So we were able to commiserate with each other. Yeah. And then for the individual one, she kind of gave me like an individual plan of how to like restructure my thoughts so I can reduce my stress. So that was good as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And what I like is that there's a lot of resources in the program, but it's not necessary to use up every single last thing we offer in order to get amazing results. Right. So you had, 4 mindset coaching calls you could have used. You used one of the group, one of the one-on-ones, and you were good. Yeah. I think that's one of the values of the program is like, we've got a lot for you and use what is really working well for you. And if you don't need it, then that's okay. Use a little bit and move on. So yeah, awesome. Another part of the program is the members area. So the place where all the clients are celebrating, our Q&A vault where you can submit questions or just read other people's questions. And then of course we're like the chat area where we're reminding you about the calls or you all are just chatting about, who's going to be at this visit or whatever. And then the application accelerator resources folder where we have like sample essays, resumes, sample emails, all kinds of stuff for y'all. Would love to hear how much you used the things I just mentioned and which were your favorites and why.
Yeah, I was definitely keeping track of the Q&A vault where clients would ask questions because sometimes I had the same questions. And so looking back and seeing what the responses were around that was helpful, especially when I ended up on the wait list for round 2 for 2 schools. That helped me with like knowing what I needed to do moving forward because a lot of people had already asked about that. And then I guess with the the other clients, I ended up meeting some of them at the school visits that I was going to.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, so 2 of them I actually ran into at Wharton when I was interviewing. So I was able to meet them in person, and that was really cool. And then another girl actually lives in Houston with me. So we've connected several times since that. Yeah. And
I
she
love
might go
it.
to Wharton too. So I'm excited about
Oh,
that.
she got into Wharton too, you said?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. Well, all 3 of the people that I met that we did like a mock interview for Wharton together through the Art of Applying. So all 3 of us got into Wharton after that.
What a success story.
Yeah.
Please tell everybody about and that was not even originally included in your package. We just like created that for y'all so
Right.
that you'll be ready for the Wharton group interview. So, that was an amazing story. So when we get off the call, I definitely want you to let me know who those 3 are, because I want to be excited that all 3 people in that prep session got in. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So tell everybody listening and watching, how that session came to be about, and then what happened during it. And
so Wharton's interview is a group interview. So they actually give you a prompt, and you're in a group of like 5 people, and you have to give your pitch, and then you have to come together to come up with a solution and then present it at the end. So in order to prepare for that, the Art of Applying had a couple sessions for current clients to actually like do a mock interview for that. So I did the first one before I found out that I got the Wharton interview, which was good practice because I knew what to expect afterwards. And then we actually did another one when we found out that we got the interview invite. So those are really helpful in like helping me to practice my pitch before going in and not being as nervous the day of the interview.
Oh, that's amazing. I love it. Wow. That is like a wonderful story that all 3 of you got in from.
Yeah.
Really great. And did you meet the other 2? Those were the ones you also met on campus when you were there?
Yeah, I had met the other one before at Ross in person. Well, no, actually ran into her in Houston at like a consortium event. So we met in person there randomly. And then the other girl I purposely connected with at Wharton because we found out we were going to be there the same day for our interview.
Oh, perfect. I love it. Wow. What are other ways you benefited from being in this kind of program versus most companies, if not all of them, have you just working one-on-one with your consultant and you don't know who the other clients are? Whereas in our program, you have your one-on-one consultant, you've got private calls with them, but then you also, know who all the other clients are.
Yeah, it's definitely comforting to know that other people are going through this process with you and to actually put a name to a face. And so like you hear these people on the calls, you see like what they're going through is similar to you. And then you can also celebrate each other. Like now that we have round 2 decisions, there's a celebration wall of like where everybody's gotten into school and everybody's been like congratulating everybody on their successes. And then also after I was waitlisted at Ross, I actually had a call with another girl that was waitlisted at Ross. So we were able to like share feedback with each other about the process. So it's helpful to have those connections and to people to talk to as well to go through this process.
Awesome. Yeah. And also just building your network across different schools. Now you're going to have that network anyway if you go to one of the consortium schools. But yeah, that's also great. Oh,
yeah.
Excellent. Lauren, did you apply to an MLT's professional development program?
I did, yes. And I just recently got in. So I've been in for about a week. So I'm doing that right now. Thank you.
Another really great network. So
yeah,
you're going to have an unstoppable network. Yeah, the Art of Applying, MLT. If you decided to go to one of the consortiums, so it's just, wow. Yeah. And of course, business honors is amazing. So very proud of you. All right, let me think about what other parts of the program I want to touch on. I think, let's see, that might be all of them. I'm curious, Lauren, if there was ever a time when you saw people celebrating, if you had that moment of doubt, like, will this happen for me?
Yeah. After I got my applications in, I was waiting for interview invites and everything. I was like, is this going to happen? So just a lot of doubt that goes through your mind in that period because you submitted everything and it's out of your control then. So a lot of different thoughts run through your head. So yeah. That was kind of my moment of doubt.
For sure. And are you still making up your mind on where you're going to go, or do you feel clear on where you're going to go?
I'm still making up my mind, and I have
Okay.
until Monday, so I'm kind of stressed about that.
Sure. So, you know, after this video, we can definitely stay on and talk about it. And I would love to just hear, you don't have to name names if you don't want to, that's totally fine, but just what's going through your mind as you think about where to choose where to go to school, because you've got some great choices. You've got some full scholarships, some partial scholarships, some no money. So what are all the different things going through your mind as you think of, well, first of all, it's amazing to have these choices.
Right, yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, what a blessing. And what are some of the thoughts and questions, doubts and concerns that goes through your mind as you're deciding which school to choose?
Yeah, so I don't have any debt right now. So if I was to go to a higher ranked school, would that the trade-off of that between choosing my full ride? So is the brand name worth it, or should I go to a lower ranked school that I got into with a full ride? So just the trade-off between that, and then the thought of having to pay back debt later.
Understood. Okay, so it's mainly the debt question.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of the career paths you're interested in?
So I'm interested in going into product management for a technology company. So I'm pretty set on that. And then also in my MBA program, I want to work on an entrepreneurship idea. So also thinking about like down the road, saving money in order to fund my entrepreneurial venture.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Okay, well, we can talk about it after the call. I can definitely share about my experience paying off $150,000 of Harvard Kennedy School and Harvard Business School debt. But I was able to do it. So we can definitely talk about the pros and cons of that. And I actually turned down a full scholarship to go to UT for college, to take on debt to go to Pomona College. It wasn't a lot of debt, but it was 30,000 or more. So it wasn't nothing. So I definitely have that experience of turning down a full scholarship to go to a different school. I have the experience of, paying basically, a lot of money for a really highly ranked school. So very happy to talk to you about pros and cons. And I also graduated during a recession. So very similar scenario. I'm an entrepreneur. So yeah, happy to weigh in and help you think through that. And we're with you, we're here for you. Your engagement's still going through May 1st. And happy to connect you with people. You've got some amazing choices.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
There is no wrong choice. There's just a choice for you to make.
Yeah, that's what all my friends and family have been saying. There's no wrong choice. So I was like, well, what choice do I need to make this?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So Lauren, what would you say to someone who's watching this video who sees themselves in you? Maybe she's a young woman of color. Maybe she went to, we get quite a few UT people. Maybe it's just a UT business grad or someone who did business foundations at UT, but they weren't in the business school. And they're just like, wow, it worked for her. Can this work for me? What would you say to them?
I would say that if you put in the work, it can definitely work for you. You just have to bet on yourself. I think this whole MBA process is about betting on yourself, knowing that you're a great candidate and just getting your story across so that these schools can see that you're a great candidate as well. So this whole process is about investing in yourself first and then betting on yourself in the process as well.
That's a great way to put it. I love it. Thank you for sharing your story, Lauren. It's going to inspire people, encourage people. It's going to help someone gain clarity that, yes, they do want help. They don't want to just keep taking the GMAT over and over. Ready to get help now. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And I look forward to chatting about school choice.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for watching our video. For more videos just like this, make sure you click subscribe. And if you want to work with us on your graduate school applications, visit us at theartofapplying.com or click on the link below in the description.